If you're even slightly interested in roller coasters, you would have heard of the DC Rivals Hypercoaster. This 61 metre tall, 1.4 kilometre long behemoth is often touted as Australia's best roller coaster. But what makes this roller coaster so damn good? Well, there are actually 4 reasons, and today I'm going to walk you through them all. Starting with number 1, the stats. The DC Rivals is the tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster in Australia. It tops out on every single stat of any coaster in Australia. Let's start with the height. The DC Rivals is 61.6 meters tall. It absolutely towers over the Gold Coast skyline, and it is so terrifying. Seeing that Joker all the way up in the sky as you drive into Movie World, it only adds to the anticipation. The height has to be my favorite part of the coaster because you reach that 61.6 meters through a lift hill. So you have so much time as you're climbing up that lift hill to realize how high off the ground you are and how much you just want to turn around and forget everything. It's honestly the best and scariest part of the coaster. That brings me to number 2, speed. The DC Rivals hits a max speed of 115 kilometers per hour. And you can feel every single unit of that thing, especially as you crest the Camelback Hill after the first drop. I mean, it is crazy. One time I rode that thing during the rain and the speed just felt 10 times that amount. Like, it is absolutely wild. Okay, let's talk about the length of this thing. The DC Rivals is 1,400 meters long. I mean, that is, do you know how long that is? That is so long. It's so long that you actually have time to realize you're on the roller coaster. Like, when you're towards the end of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have now gotten over that initial adrenaline rush and I'm just cruising through the back half. Some people say that the DC Rivals coaster is a little bit too long, that the back half of the coaster it's not as thrilling as the first half, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, let's talk about the layout of this thing. There are 2 key elements to the DC Rivals coaster that I absolutely love. The first one is what's called a non-inverting loop. Now, in the first half of the roller coaster, you essentially twist up a vertical spike and roll over the top of this kind of loop-shaped hill, and that's what they call a non-inverting loop. It's essentially a loop that you don't hang upside down. I mean, this element was so-so when I first rode it. I was like, okay, cool, they have a non-inverting loop. I'd kind of rather be inverted. But when you ride this thing backwards and go up that loop, it is top 10 feelings in the world. It is absolutely amazing. The best feeling ever. You get dragged up the spike backwards, of course. And when you twist around it, it's just this feeling of just getting kind of like alien abducted from the ground. It's the best. My second favorite element comes at the very end of the roller coaster. It's these 2 ejector airtime hills. Now, ejector airtime is a pretty self-explanatory concept. Essentially, you crest these hills so quickly that you feel like you're getting launched out of your seat. And at the end of DC Rivals, they have 2 of them back to back. The ejector airtime feeling is doubled because you only have a little lap bar holding you in place, so you feel absolutely weightless. It is honestly such a great way to end the roller coaster, and I feel like as you land into the brake run, you've just had that amazing feeling and you walk off the ride being like, yeah, this is the best roller coaster in Australia. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's confession time. When I first rode the DC Rivals Hypercoaster, I was underwhelmed. I was like, yeah, this is amazing feat of engineering. It felt amazing falling down that 62 meter drop, but it didn't top it out for me. Please don't cancel me. That all changed when I rode the DC Rivals backwards. This is the 3rd reason why the DC Rivals is the best roller coaster in Australia. So the DC Rivals has an optional rider element. You pay basically to sit in the back seat, which is facing away from the rest of the seats. You're facing backwards. Now, this brings an entirely new element to the roller coaster. Firstly, when you're going up that lift hill, you have nothing to hold on to. You have just a little lap bar, and that lift hill is kind of steep. So from the get-go, you're automatically feeling these amazing forces. Of course, there's the amazing airtime that happens sitting at the back of the train. So when you crest over the first hill, you get whipped over the top of it. The non-inverting loop feels amazing when you're in the backwards seat. That backwards seat literally changed my life.
That was a religious experience.
I don't think I've ever felt something like that before in my life.
And if you don't believe me, you can watch this video. Any element that is great about the DC Rivals is multiplied when you're riding it backwards. It's just a once in a lifetime experience. So if you ever ride the DC Rivals, spare the $30 and ride it backwards. It is a phenomenal experience. If you've ridden it backwards, let me know what your experience was like in the comments. Okay, the last reason why the DC Rivals is so good, I think, is the main reason why it's so well regarded in Australia, and that is the clout. Now, when the DC Rivals opened in 2017, Australian theme parks were just so-so. The last major coaster to open in Movie World was the Superman Escape, which opened in 2015. That's wrong, 2005. Which opened in 2005, so 12 years before that. The only other kind of major coaster launch in the Gold Coast generally was the revamping of the Tower of Terror to the Tower of Terror 2 in 2010. So that was like between 7 to 12 years before we had any major coaster announcements in Australia. And Movie World didn't just open up another kind of, I don't know, small themed roller coaster. They went big. They topped out all the stats. They introduced a world-class roller coaster to Australian shores. And I think this is the reason why the DC Rivals is so magical. It put Australian theme parks on the map. Before this, yes, we had a great Intamin accelerator in the Superman Escape, and honestly, still my favorite roller coaster. But the DC Rivals brings another element to Gold Coast theme parks. It's just, it's the reason why so many coaster enthusiasts come down to Australia to try it out. It is now just a world-class attraction. It brought so much visibility to the theme park space in Australia. And that's why I think the DC Rivals is so well regarded here. So there you have it. Those are the 4 reasons why the DC Rivals Hypercoaster is the best in Australia. Did you agree with my points? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, I make lots of videos about Australian theme parks and roller coasters. So please give me a subscribe. Thank you.